Welcome to Tiger Tally. I'm Taylor Harrison. Auburn baseball picks up a tough series win on the road. The Tigers went 2-1 against the Volunteers. Auburn picked up a 3-2 victory in the first game, then went to 10 innings in the second match, falling 5-4 to Tennessee, and then topped off the weekend with the 8-1 win. Up next for Auburn, Kennesaw State this Tuesday. Softball also gets a series win after a big day on Sunday. Auburn fell in the first game to Missouri 6-4, but would bounce back in the final two games to win 5-4 and 6-1. The Tigers host Kennesaw State this Wednesday. And one Tiger received the honor of being named a finalist of the Senior Class Award, Casey Cooper. She's the first player in the program history to be selected as a finalist for the award. One of the criteria to be eligible for the awards, the player must have notable achievements in 4 areas of excellence: community, classroom, character, and competition. Fans can vote online at the Senior Class Award website through May 9th. The number 11 women's tennis team finished out its regular season. The team hosted Missouri for its senior day, winning 4-1. The team then faced number 18 Arkansas in the last game of the season, falling 4-2. Auburn will compete in the SEC Women's Tennis Tournament in Nashville April 19th through the 23rd. NBA playoffs, big NFL contracts, and more. We'll get you the full rundown in national sports after the break. Panthers locked up one of their best young defensive players with a lucrative contract. Defensive tackle Kawan Short signed a 5-year deal that is reportedly worth $80 million. $45 million is guaranteed. Since entering the league in 2013, Short has 22 sacks, 179 tackles, 6 forced fumbles, and 5 fumble recoveries. Over the weekend, a California man turned himself in after stealing a football that was signed by Hall of Fame wide receiver Jerry Rice. 45-year-old Patrick Van Lam saw viral videos of himself on social media after taking the football at a charity auction. The ball was purchased for $3,900 to benefit Chinese orphans with special needs. Van Lam was eventually arrested on suspicion of burglary and grand theft. The NBA playoffs started this weekend featuring 16 teams, all with the goal of winning the coveted NBA Finals trophy. In the West, the number 1 seed Golden State Warriors are facing the Portland Trail Blazers. In the East, the number 1 seed Boston Celtics are facing the Chicago Bulls. Other notable matchups include the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Houston Rockets. NBA Players Association Executive Director Michelle Roberts criticized New York Knicks President Phil Jackson for his recent comments regarding All-Star forward Carmelo Anthony. Roberts said in a statement that, quotes, "We expect management to adhere to the same standards. The door swings both ways when it comes to demonstrating loyalty and respect," end quote. Jackson came under fire for saying, quote, "We've not been able to win with him on the court at this time. I think the direction with our team is that he's a player that would be better off somewhere else, using his talent somewhere where he can win or chase that championship," end quote. More on Jackson's comments when we debate them after the break.
So I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. I'm joined now with Chris Hummel and Winston Hurd. First on the table, before we left for the break, we heard Phil Jackson's comments about Anthony, saying he thinks the team is better off without Melo. Do you agree that this is best for Anthony and that the Knicks to part ways?
Actually, I think it is. I've been saying it's time for Carmelo Anthony to look elsewhere. I was actually pushing for him to try to, sign a deal with the Clippers and probably have a playoff run out there because as good as a player he is,
right.
It's just the team that what they're trying to do in New York is just not where he is in his career. Is just not compatible. And Phil Jackson is dead on with this. I'm just for Carmelo Anthony. It's just a shame, honestly, because he's such a good player. He's known as one of the top 10 players in the league. He is an all-star, and he deserves to be playing, in the month of June and in early May. So I think it's just time. The Knicks are a young team, and it's just what Carmelo Anthony's trying to do. What they're trying to do is just so far. The gap is so far, and he's just time for him to part ways with him.
I agree too. I think his comments are dead on. I think the way, being an owner, I think the way he said it was definitely not the way you should have said it. You need to still be supportive of your team no matter who you have. And I think Melo does not need the Knicks, but I still think the Knicks need Melo. Melo is a huge market for New York in general. Like, people go to see Melo and Kristaps Porzingis nowadays, but if the Knicks don't have Melo, they're going to lose a lot of, not fan base, but a lot of people that support the Knicks because of Carmelo. But I definitely think that it's the best thing for Melo to get out of there. The triangle offense that Phil Jackson's trying to run, it doesn't fit in for him. It doesn't really fit in for anyone. Even Porzingis said he doesn't like running it. So I think that the Knicks and the Carmelo do need to part ways. It's best for the organization. They'll save them money probably, more than likely, and Melo just needs to get out of there. It's just It's been kind of a downhill spiral for the past couple of years, and I think it's time for him to venture out and see what other team fits best for him.
I agree. While Melo and the Knicks work out their differences, the MVP race is in full force. The leading candidates, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, two of the league's top leading scorers. With that said, who do you think deserves the award the most?
I'll let you take this one first.
I'm kind of on the fence about this because I'm a big believer that if you win, I think you definitely deserve being in the MVP candidate. But once records are involved, especially with nowadays, like, records are a big deal to people, and breaking Oscar Robertson's record was huge. I think Russell Westbrook has got it. I think to be able to average a triple-double is something that not many people can say at all. And the way he's really taken over the Thunder, the way the Thunder came out with no Durant, everyone was like, all right, like, nothing's going to happen. And to be able to take that team, put them on his back, and lead them to the playoffs, I think was awesome. And the way he plays with his drive and tenacity was great to see. James Harden's put up a ridiculous season, and it's almost unfortunate for everyone else, like Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, even Isaiah Thomas and Damian Lillard, to be put in that conversation with their numbers. But there's so many good guys putting up ridiculous stats this year that it's almost like Kawhi Leonard would be winning MVP in a normal season. But this was no normal season for statistics, and I think in the end, Russell Westbrook with the record, and he's been followed around for so long now chasing the record, that I think overall he'll get the most votes and win the MVP.
Yeah, and I say I have to agree. I've been saying Russell Westbrook all along for numerous reasons. A lot of people weren't expecting the Thunder. Would they make the playoffs? Would they even fight to be getting an 8th seed? And to get this team sitting in the 6th seed, almost a 5, it's pretty impressive considering the kind of roster that Russell Westbrook has around him. I've heard people say, well, he turns the ball over a lot, takes a lot of shots. Well, on the flip side, James Harden plays on a roster where, he doesn't have to take as many shots as Russell does or try to make as many plays and, forced to get to his open looks. So, and also, like you just mentioned, breaking Oscar Robertson's record in 50, 60 years is a huge deal. And to put up a triple-double in that many games, that takes a lot of effort. You cannot take a night off. You have to get double digits in every category that you're playing in. So, and like I said, I think he's done more with less. And I think just the amount of energy, what kind of player Russell Westbrook is, he comes out there and gives that kind of energy. He never takes a night off. And he's pretty much put that team on his back. And, I'm actually glad they have the playoff matchup playing the Rockets and the Thunder right now. So you get to see this. And, I think this is going to be a pretty interesting series. A lot of people have this going forward too. But as far as the MVP race is concerned, if it was actually for what it stands for, you could give it to LeBron or like Kawhi every year, but that's not. They go against wins and who you're winning for. But I think just based off of when you look at wins, what Russell Westbrook and the teams and the organization been able to do with what they have, I think you got to give it to Russ. He just had an outstanding season individually.
Okay. Now, Auburn baseball started the season off hot, to say the least. Now this month, they've had a couple close matches where they've barely gotten by with the win, in addition to a few losses. Do you think this is a sign the momentum has fallen off, or do you see them continuing the success to the end of the season?
I think the team is going to continue to have success. I mean, this is baseball. This is how it goes. You know, you're not going to go undefeated. You're not going to win every single game. You know, you're going to have a stretch where, you know, you might win 5 in a row. You might have a stretch where you might drop 2, then you start winning again. It's just how baseball works. It just has to be your day. But I think, you know, just with a couple of close games, that's just how it works. That's how the sport is. There's no reason to panic. You know, they have a good stretch coming up. You know, you got to go and play Kennesaw, which is a game that they should win. Then they have a 3-game stretch against Arkansas. So just was looking at the schedule, and I think Mississippi State's after that. They have a good little stretch where they can, like, win some games, win some series here, and get some momentum on the back half of the schedule. But, you know, the couple of losses is nothing to panic about. Now, if this were like maybe a 7-game, 8-game slump where you're not, you know, you're losing close games and you're not putting any W's up, then that would be a conversation. But since they are winning games, and there's maybe a loss here and there, I think there's nothing really to panic about.
Okay.
I agree for sure. Been going to a lot of Auburn games this year, and watching the team play, the pitching staff has been phenomenal. Davis Daniel, the freshman, has been great. Our ace, Keegan Thompson, and Casey Mize, who just got named to the USA baseball team. So they've been playing well. And me being a pitcher, like, I know when you're hot, you're hot.
Right.
And as Casey Mize, the past 3 outings, he's gone at least 6 innings. He's gotten 3 wins in a row. He's on fire. And the pitching staff has been great. The bullpen's been great with Calvin Coker. And I think the beginning of the season is almost good momentum to lead up to this back half, because the back half is a lot more powerhouses that we're playing at home and on the road. You mentioned we have Arkansas. They're ranked 15th right now. We play LSU, I think, on the road. We play Ole Miss at home. We play another series with Bama. We play Mississippi State, who's also ranked. So we have 4 of our last 5 series are against ranked opponents besides Bama. And to have these close wins, it's almost better, because when you're battle tested more, you now know what it's like to be in that series. And the A&M series that we went on the road, those were tough games. We lost a game by 1 run, and A&M's a great team. They just had a really tough schedule. That's why they were unranked. But going to a rowdy A&M environment, that was tough. But to get a win out of that, I think was great. And I think our offense, like, we don't put up ridiculous statistics at all by any means. But Jonah Todd's hitting about 400, our leadoff batter. Daniel Roberts been playing well. Connor Davis, the freshman, the DH, has been playing so well. I think that they have a great chance. As I said, it's just the schedule. The schedule is, to some people it seems favorable, to some people it seems a little eerie because you have so many ranked opponents to play. But I really think that if the pitching stays as where it is right now, if they stay hot, I definitely think there's a good chance that they can at least keep us in ball games, and hopefully our offense can produce a couple runs, and hopefully we can host a regional for the first time in a couple years.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think that'd be fantastic for the university and for the baseball.
And I'm glad you actually pointed out about the pitching, because a lot of people don't realize your success it starts with your pitching staff. If the other team can't touch the ball, they can't beat you.
Right.
So you only need to have maybe a good little spurt here and there for a couple of innings. But if that pitching staff is on point and they're hitting their spots, it'd be a pretty tough team to beat.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you, Winton. Thank you, Chris. Well, that's all for today.